I recently read a story. This is apparently the longest range petrol gasoline powered car in the world. It was a Volvo made in 1966. It's a sports car Volvo. Now, the owner claims that after driving 5.2 million kilometers, he was still using the same engine. And that he'd only rebuilt the engine once, but he'd done 300 oil changes. Now, I call bullshit on that story. I don't think there's ever been an engine ever in the history of mankind that's been able to do 5.2 million kilometers without needing to be replaced. But incredibly, electric cars are lasting far longer than what people would ever have expected. In fact, the electric cars that have driven further than any others, it's actually quite hard to find them. And it's even harder to find out the car's information. But I've done a bit of research here, guys, and the numbers for the Model Y, the Model 3, and the Model S are quite incredible. The EV in Australia that's done more mileage than any other car was a Model S, a Tesla Model S that's done more than 700,000 kilometers. It's still on the same battery pack, and it has only 14% battery degradation. Now, there are some Teslas that are not going to give you anywhere near these kinds of numbers, but some Tesla battery packs seem to just last forever, and this was one of them. Here is a list of the 10 EVs, Tesla EVs, with the longest mileage driven on the odometers that I personally know of. Both the Model 3, the Model Y, and the Model S. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Now, first of all, there was an electric car just sold on the Tesla High Mileage Club. Someone in America, I think they're in California, they sold there to dealership, in fact. They sold a Tesla Model S for $19,000. It's a 2018 Tesla Model S. Massive depreciation, right? $19,000 must be a bucket of junk. Hang on a minute. It's done. 350,000 miles. 4.5 years of ownership. The owner drove nearly 100,000 miles a year. It's using the same battery pack, the same battery. So same battery pack. I mean, the dealer obviously isn't going to advertise that it's got an old battery pack unless it's got an old battery pack. If they'd replaced the battery, he'd be telling you because it'd be a way to sell the car for more money. So it's same original battery pack. This got me to thinking, are there Teslas that have done more range than this on the same battery pack? Now, this particular Tesla is actually a pretty good buy for the owner. $19,000 sounds expensive, but it's not really, because it still has an unlimited battery warranty for another 3 years. So that means Tesla will actually replace the battery if anything goes wrong to that battery for another 3 years. And it doesn't matter how much you drive it. So you could drive the thing 150,000, 200, 300,000 miles a year for 3 years, and Tesla would still replace the battery if something went wrong with it. Now, that's not the case for all Tesla vehicles. That's just for Model S and Model X EVs. Now, I found a list on a website. You've got to pay a subscription on this site where people have listed, well, the company actually has listed the longest range electric cars, the electric Teslas in the US that have the most mileage on their odometers. In first place is a Tesla Model S. In fact, the first 6 places are Tesla Model S vehicles. It's a Tesla Model S 70D. It's done 451,000 miles. In second place is an S85 with 402,000 miles. Third, an S85, 390,000. Fourth, same S85 again, 336,000. Fifth, S85, 333,000. Sixth is also an S85, 310,000. And again, the next car, 7th, is also an S85D with 289,000. There's clearly a trend here. The vehicles, the Tesla Model S vehicles that have done the most mileage on the same battery pack are actually all Tesla Model S's with an 85 battery pack, the S85. So that apparently has been the most reliable battery that Tesla have made that we know of yet. I mean, obviously Model 3 and Model Y haven't been around long enough yet for us to get an idea of how far they can go on the same battery pack. However, next up was the highest mileage Tesla Model 3 that we know of. It's a long range DM. That's what it's called, the Tesla Model 3 long range DM. And this has, of course, not an LFP pack. It's a lithium ternary battery pack from Panasonic. it has 281,000 miles. So 281,000 miles, as far as I can tell, that is on its original battery. I don't know what battery degradation is, but 281,000 miles, that's pretty damn good for the longest range, or the longest driven Tesla Model 3. Now, that wasn't until I actually found a Tesla owner in the United States with this VIN number. I've got a screenshot here of the details from this guy's odometer. Tesla Model 3 long range, dual motor version. It's done 390,200 miles, I believe, on the same battery. $390,000. That is unbelievable. That's just insane. So 390,000 miles, that is the longest range Tesla Model 3 in the world, as in the most mileage that's been driven. Now, actually, this is an old post. So this vehicle has likely now done about 393,000 miles. But anyway, it's a huge number. So if the longest mileage on a Tesla Model 3 so far is 390,000 miles, what's the longest mileage we have for a Tesla Model Y? I don't actually know exactly, but I do have this list here from a subscription website where this list is compiled from the owners in the United States. There may be owners outside of the US who have done more range. If you know of someone who's done more than this, let us know in the comments, please. Okay, first place, Tesla Model Y long range. So this is not an LFP battery pack, my friends. None of these, in fact, in this list are the LFP pack, because the LFP pack didn't come into existence until relatively recently. First place, 224,000 miles, 224,600 miles. Second place was 222,000 miles. And in third place was 210,000 miles. Now, as you can see, there's a whole lot of EVs here that have done more than 150,000 miles with the Model Y. Now, there is one thing that goes wrong with the Model Y. That's apparently the control arms. There's a replacement that you may have to do between getting your car and doing 200,000 miles. The control arms is quite common, but battery pack replacements are not. The Tesla Model Y battery pack is very, very good. So you're very likely to get well over 200,000 miles and have no issues with your battery pack whatsoever. However, there is actually a Tesla Model Y standard range that does have the LFP. So as far as I can tell, this is the highest mileage Tesla Model Y with an LFP battery in the world. It's done 201,000 miles. There's probably likely to be vehicles in China using LFP batteries with the Model 3 and the Model Y that have done more range than this, because they're used as taxis. But I don't have a list, because unfortunately this information isn't apparently shared in China commonly, or at least I can't find it. Now, getting back to that Australian vehicle that I spoke about at the start, the owner of this car says, and he posts a screenshot, battery degradation is only 14%. It has 86% of its original capacity. It's done 600,000 kilometers. That's 375,000 miles. This is a rare vehicle to do this kind of distance. And this car was from 2018. So it's lived a hell of a life. Whoever owned this thing has been driving on it nearly 150,000 kilometers every single year. And it's still going incredibly well. So as you can see, EVs seem to last for an incredibly long time. Guys, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have an EV, or you know of someone that has an EV that's beaten any of these ones that I've listed here in this list. Let's see if we can come up with an interesting list. I mean, there must be owners out there watching that have done even more range than some of these cars in this list. Thank you for watching.